Craven Comics here with another new comic book day video for you. I know it's been a couple of days since I've had a video out. It's been kind of a busy past week or so for me. Been taking my son to see some colleges, some other personal stuff going on. But I do have a stack of books here. I've got several stacks of books that I have been picking up during the course of the time. So let's get to it. First of all, with new comic book day. New Fantastic Four #1. This is a new story that takes place shortly after the original story that happened in Fantastic Four, where these four characters got together and were temporarily known as the New Fantastic Four. Pretty interesting story. This one has got a lot of comedy in it. It doesn't take itself too seriously, I guess is the best way to put it. But I was looking forward to this one just to see what they were going to do with it, because I do have the originals. Alright, also picked up Gunslinger Spawn, issue #9. It's a great series. I've really been enjoying that one. Noctera #11. Another one that's been on my pull list. Samurai Sonia #1. So as the name suggests, this is kind of a Red Sonia story, but set in ancient Japan. It is a little weird to have, like the Japanese, but her name's still Sonia, because Sonia's not very Japanese sounding. But interesting start to the story so far. We'll see where it goes from here. So also picked up Elvira in Horrorland issue #2 from Dynamite. This was the photo cover, obviously. This one takes place in the movie world of The Shining. So hilarity ensues. It's very funny, it's very campy, it's very goofy, it's very Elvira. It's been a fun series to read so far. Radiant Red, issue #4 out of 5. So just continuing with that. And then look folks, a DC comic. That's right. Black Adam #1. I just really like this cover. See where they're going to go with this version of it, I guess. This looks like a new series. Or maybe a limited series, I'm not sure. I really don't know too much about it. I just saw it and picked it up. Okay, and as always, I like to go through my back issues while I'm at my local comic book shop and see what they have to offer. And I found, along the lines of DC, I found some more DC stuff. So this is DC Secret Origins, The Golden Age Superman. This is issue #1. So what these are is, these came out sometime in the 80s, I believe 86, and this is just kind of a retelling. It's not exactly a reprint. This is a retelling of the original origin stories of a lot of DC characters. So it's actually done with all new artwork. They've even updated the dialogue a little bit from what I understand, reading on the inside. And in some cases where characters didn't have an origin story, they kind of created one for them. Obviously Superman did, so this is a retelling of the Action Comics that he appears in, but again, it's not a reprint. It's all new artwork and stuff done to kind of, I guess, bring it up to date or modernize it at that time in 1986. What they also decided to do was go with the Golden Age and Silver Age characters on the odd numbered books, so odd numbers 1, 3, 5, etc. And then on the even numbered books 2, 4, 6, and going on, they decided to do some of the more recent character origins. So this is the Blue Beetle, issue #2, Secret Origins, and this features the origins of both of those Blue Beetles. And then going back to Golden Age, they did issue #3 with the origin of the original Captain Marvel, Shazam. And then issue #4 I also picked up, which has Firestorm. And then somewhere around issue 5 or 6, they decided to, I guess, change things up a bit. And then they threw 2 origins in one book. This is issue #6, which has the origin of Batman as well as Halo. And Halo is a character I'm not very familiar with, but there she is in that book. And then I also picked up, I know this is a big jump, but I picked up issue 24, which has Dr. Fate and Blue Devil, the 2 origins in that one. My son's a big Dr. Fate fan, so that's why I picked up that one. So then also digging through some more DC books. I found a Flash book that I picked up. My son's also a fan of the Flash, and this one is issue 291. I forget what year this one is from, but I think it's early 80s, and it features a villain called the Sabretooth, which of course I had to pick up because, you know, Sabretooth. It's not the Wolverine's Sabretooth, it's a DC version of Sabretooth, so I just found it interesting with the same name. Of course, this issue he barely appears in it. I think he's in it for like one page, and then the whole encounter is pretty much over after that. But I got it just because he's called Sabretooth also. So speaking of characters with the same name in different comic book universes, I found another book. This is by Dark Horse Comics, Ghost, featuring a character called Ghost, who debuted in Dark Horse Comics. No relation to the Marvel character called Ghost, although similar powers, but different character. This one features barbed wire as well. And I believe the next issue, actually at this time Dark Horse had the rights to the Predator franchise, and it teases in the next issue that she's going to run into Predator. So I'm going to be on the lookout for the next issue just to see that matchup. Alright, I also found an Image Comics Free Comic Book Day issue from, I believe, 2004. And what I find very interesting about this one is that obviously it features stories by these four characters: Savage Dragon, Witchblade, Spawn, but most interestingly, it's an early story from the Invincible series. So that was a comic that came out when I was no longer collecting comics during that time. I think 2003, 2004. I wasn't collecting at that time, so I completely missed out on that series when it originally came out. So I thought this was pretty cool to find this. I think it was maybe $2 or $3 I picked it up for, to have an early Invincible story in there for a part of Free Comic Book Day. It's pretty neat. Okay, and last but not least, dig through some Spider-Man, because I am a fan of Spider-Man, and these Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man issue 81, I picked it up, just an early appearance of Cloak and Dagger. It's not their first appearance, but it's one of the early appearances. They do make their first appearance in Spectacular Spider-Man in an earlier issue. And then right after that, I found this one, and I just picked it up because it looked really goofy and interesting, kind of breaking the fourth wall stuff. Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man 86. It's almost like a parody issue on the inside, because it actually starts out in Marvel Studios offices where they're arguing about, you know, it says, beware, it's assistant editor's month, and the assistant editor has made a decision to use a completely different artist. This is an artist called Fred Hembleck, who was you know, a comedy style artist back in the day. I assume he's still doing work today, but very much not what you'd expect to see in Spider-Man. And they actually have the majority of the story done in his art style, and then the outside offices appearances are done in like your normal typical art style. So it's a really interesting book. Definitely, you know, out of the box on this one. It's almost as if, you know, I guess by today's standards, if you would see a comic book that had normal artwork for the first few pages, and then all of a sudden you kick into the story and it's done, and the entire story is done by Scotty Young in that style, and then you kick back to the normal artwork style, it would be kind of like that, to give you an example of what it's like on the inside. Very interesting and unique, and for a couple bucks I figured I'd pick it up. Alright, so that's it for this video. I do have some more stacks of stuff from some eBay hauls, as well as some books that I was able to pick up while hunting around on Father's Day, so be on the lookout for those. I also just recently found out about the first appearances tag video challenge, so I will be putting one of those out soon, but I'm currently waiting on one more first appearance from an eBay order. So as soon as that gets in, I'll get around to making that video as well. In the meantime, keep an eye open for my other videos, the eBay haul and the Father's Day video, collection that I picked up as well. So till then, continue to collect what you love, and I'll catch you later.